This is Ryan Frankowski and
Kelly Mizgorski.
And you're listening to Mocktails Are Messy. Are you going to get messy today, Kelly?
I am.
She's always been my messy friend, but then I could also be right there with you. I've been there. We've done that.
You're my messy friend too.
Okay, well, today I am going to be mocktailing it. It has actually been 2.5 weeks since my last drop of booze.
You're doing drink. Dry January, correct?
I am. I might even extend it depending on how I'm feeling, but what are your thoughts on me being dry? Do you feel like I'm a little too dry?
No, I think it's always great to take a pause. I got my pause when I was pregnant.
Yes,
for the
you
past,
did. Yes, you did.
9-10 months.
Yeah, and you've done that months. Twice, right?
Yeah, yes. I've taken 2 major pauses, and I enjoyed it. I really did.
Now, tell me, what is it like to be a mother of 2? I know, you've been a mother of 1 for the last couple years, and now you just popped out Ethan in October. It's weird. I can't even, I think of you as the wild, crazy single friend that was just all over the world, and now you're just settling down into motherhood.
I know. If I'm being honest, I do not feel like myself, and I think it'll take a few years to get back to that.
Yes.
Most difficult part was the mom guilt for my first. That now she doesn't get all my time. Right. She doesn't get all my energy, and she kind of still wants it. So it's mommy, mommy, mommy all day long.
Oh my God.
And then the baby's crying because he wants milk, and it's I have to tell her hey honey, I need to feed the baby. Can I have a minute?
You have this perfect family, regardless of the craziness. You got a little girl, the oldest one, who is how old?
She's 3.5.
3.5. And then you have little boy. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want a girl and a boy? That's the perfect family setup.
I know. Now I never have to do it again.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have baby fever, but my husband's no, I'm getting snipped.
What do you mean snipped?
He's going to get a vasectomy.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's right.
But I'm trying to, tell him, wait till we're 35.
Yeah.
Just in case.
You guys are so young, 32?
Yeah.
Hey, now that he's a pilot, flying all over the world, you need to be, stimulated with babies.
Yeah, overstimulated.
That's true. What are you drinking, Kelly?
I am drinking some champagne.
Oh yeah, you got champagne.
Some champagne. That's
Oh no.
So,
I think it might be it's a Barot or a it's a Prosecco.
You brought this for me. This is the Elmo.
Yes, it's a Prosecco.
You tell me.
It's and don't ever get confused. Champagne is only made in Champagne. she's aware. She just forgot. I think a lot of people get confused with champagne as bubbles, but champagne is only made in Champagne, France.
Okay.
But I'm going to open up. I mean,
I never know if you're being serious or not.
I know. I do like to improvise. I do. Yeah.
I'm going to have to look that up now.
You got to believe me. I mean, I'm not just making up all this shit on the spot. But I am actually going to do our free sparkling Barut right here. This is non-alcoholic champagne. Shit. I'm sorry. I'm getting confused now, Kelly. You got me distracted with your dress.
You know what? I like to. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just.
It looks so beautiful.
We
are matching today.
I
like the velvet. I do like the velvet on you. But yeah, to kind of go back to this alcohol removed. It's free. It's a sparkling Barut to complement the mocktail version of your Prosecco. You ready?
I love it. Yes, I'm ready. Don't take a light out.
Okay, I know. That's always been the kind of worry. I can even give you a little New Year's Eve video. I almost popped the glass.
Don't give me a black eye.
You don't want that.
I don't want an angry pirate.
Oh my, that was not supposed to happen.
That was not supposed to happen.
Oh my God. Okay, all right. I guess I just peed myself and we're just going to keep rallying because, oh my God. Wow, I guess half the bottle is in my crotch. But that was not part of the plan.
I'm sorry, okay. Are you good?
I'm good. It's just soaked in my crotch. So, yeah, that was not supposed to happen. I promise you that. I mean, hey, we just got to rally, you know? We're limited on time. She's got to breastfeed later.
You can.
I'm just sipping or soaking wet right now. But, dude, let's cheers to mocktails are messy.
Okay, cheers.
I really like that.
I love it.
You look so beautiful today.
You look so handsome.
We definitely have to give you a little backstory on us again. We were middle school.
Now, hold on. Everybody loved our last podcast. They loved getting to know our guest, Dan. But we did have some requests to share a little bit more about us.
Yes.
So
couple
we're happy to do
DMs
that.
slid in there.
Yeah.
Trying to build.
Yes. Yeah. So we became friends in 7th grade, and it's because we were both flirts.
Oh, yeah.
And
biggest flirts.
Biggest flirts. We just started flirting with each other, and
I mean,
everyone
look
wanted
at
to
you.
date him. So I was like, I'm going to date him because everybody wants him.
I was just the new kid on the block coming from Fox Chapel to Pine Richland.
Yeah, you were like the only new kid that year. And
Yeah.
so everybody had their eye on you for sure. And you became friends with my husband that year too, I believe.
That's right. Mr. Mizgorski, it was Ryan Allen, and then transferred into Mr. Mizgorski. And yeah, he was just like the nerdy, funny, like just weird, but like so real and like authentic.
Get yourself a nerd, girls.
Yeah, get yourself a hot nerd,
Yeah,
right?
with a big.
what kind of big what? A big
Yeah.
brain, yes. I love a big brain because, you know, honestly, at the end of the day, looks will fade, but the brain is the most important for procreation.
You need someone you can have challenging conversations with.
Yeah.
Someone who stimulates your mind.
And Ryan Mizgorski does it. I mean,
He said, keep me off of your podcast.
He did.
So maybe we'll keep him off of it.
Yeah. We might have to, like, you know, just kind of respect his privacy. But one person that we're not going to respect their privacy today is
Us.
Yeah, we gotta just be open books.
Yes,
That's
baby.
part of it, you know?
Puddin' Pop.
Oh, you're such a good puddin' pop for daddy.
All right, kitty.
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like our chemistry has been since day one, like very fiery, but like also there is like a best friend involved in this relationship.
I like when you say like we speak the same language.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important with really anyone in your life.
Yeah.
It's going to be a smooth relationship.
Oh, yeah.
That you dated in middle school, high school, and college.
Yes.
Well, if we're being honest, we're probably more like friends with benefits.
Right.
In college.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Those who get it, get it. Those who don't.
What are you referring to?
Isn't that what the cool kids say?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we were always like,
Not everybody has had a friends with benefits.
Oh, no,
You know?
no. I mean, I
People
think
don't
that
get
it's the best way to, like, you kind of kept me on the straight and narrow path throughout university and just focusing on my studies. And then I always knew that, like, I had Kelly in the back of my mind, like, we could go out, we could have a great time. It would be like, I don't know if it was ever really super romantic.
Never.
It wasn't. Oh my God. That was a good sign. Yeah, we definitely had a lot of fun just going from like college, working at Steve's bar.
Yes.
The Bloomfield Bridge Tavern.
The Bloomfield Bridge Tavern. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Rest in peace, Bloomfield Bridge Tavern.
I'll miss you forever. Love you long time.
The pierogies, the Polish food, you know.
Yins. That shit was
loved
great.
It. Yeah, we had a lot of good memories there. And I think the one thing that was my favorite memory were like the parties and the events that we shared, like the birthdays and the graduations.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I had my 21st birthday there.
Yeah.
And I remember, so he always had some girl chasing after him. No, whatever was happening, there was a girl chasing after him. And this girl wanted to get into the party so she could like, I don't know, hang out with him. And we wouldn't let her in. We
Yes.
closed down the gate.
Yes.
Because it was my birthday party, only my friends. And she keyed his car and left him a bunch of hateful voicemails.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was Stephanie. I remember her name. Oh. She worked at Bar Louie. She came into the bar when I was working at the Bloomfield Bridge Tavern. And I forget what the interest was. I think it was just like, you know how some people, they just really want like somebody to just give them attention?
Yes.
Part of being a bartender, I feel like, is...
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, yes. To our roots, we are flirts. So we would flirt it up. I remember I would tell my then fiance this. I would take off my engagement ring when I went to work.
Oh, naughty kitty.
I did. And whether you agree with that or not, it got me
better
tips.
Yeah. Cheers to that. I mean, hey, this is part of the industry. I think maybe some people would disagree with that. It worked for us. I know that
it worked for me and my husband.
Yeah.
Now husband.
Yeah. And
he's always given me free reign.
He's never been a jealous guy.
Nope.
I think that's a key to a good marriage.
Yeah.
You know, you see so many people out there like jealous of that person texting this person or that person calling this person, or even just like being out in public and you're giving more attention to a certain dude, or maybe even it could be a female as well. I think one thing that I love about your husband, he doesn't care. He lets you be yourself. And that's the key to a successful marriage.
Yeah.
You know? I think I thought that was going to be the case with me and my now ex.
Yes. So we did try to film this episode once before, but emotions were running too high and it was a little bit too hard for you to talk about it at the time.
Yeah.
So let's backtrack. For the last 10 years, we've not been in Pittsburgh. We've both recently moved back to Pittsburgh. A little bit about myself. I was a military spouse. My husband was a pilot in the Marine Corps, and I have just been all over the country in the last 10 years, and here we are now. We moved back because our whole family's here, and we have 2 children. So go ahead and...
Yeah, and I just kind of was all over the map. I was like New York, Minneapolis, Los Angeles, kind of similar to you. Like, didn't really stay in one place too long. I guess, you know, the longest I would say is the last 5 years. Given that COVID happened, it was hard to move anywhere. And Los Angeles was a good place to live, you know, with the warm weather and, you know, being able to do all these different things outside during the pandemic. I did fall into a relationship, and I know that you've met them before, and, you know, out of privacy, I guess I shouldn't disclose their name.
So out of respect for this person, I don't want to disclose their name either, because I care about this person still, whether I'm and out of respect for you, I won't speak to them again.
Well, I don't really even want you to not feel like you can't.
Yeah.
Because I will say there is something to be said about ending and being happy for them, and maybe really just acknowledging the fact that it just wasn't meant to be, and being happy for them, even if they did create so much chaos, tornado type of last couple weeks. I mean, it has been a wild ride, and I know that you've been there through it all since we've moved back to Pittsburgh. I've kind of let you in on what has happened since December 7th of 2023. It's been a rough ride, Kelly, and I know that I didn't even want to talk about it with you because I was just like so emotionally fried, and I just didn't even know what was going to happen. I really didn't think it was going to end so toxic.
Yeah. So I have some questions if you're ready to answer them now. I know last time you were not really ready to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm such an open book normally. I think
ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So are you following the typical no contact rule where you cease contact with your ex?
Is that what is recommended?
Yes.
Is that a prescription?
Yes.
Like, Is that okay? Obviously, I've been hard to like deal with because as much as I wanted to, at one point I blocked them after it was when I was sitting with you and we were actually at the other studio and I had to block them. They called like 16
Yeah.
times and they were asking for these ridiculous requests and
Now, we do have some startling messages.
yeah.
Maybe if you feel comfortable reading them.
It is really scary to think about how you thought you knew one person and then when you do depart from the relationship and I really felt like this was like one of the top 3 most difficult decisions because I'm thinking this relationship is going to be forever.
I've never seen you in such rough shape before.
Yeah, and I guess the reminder that I keep getting from you and even my family is, listen, this is breaking up 101. It's not easy for anybody. Breakups suck.
I know, but like, I mean, it's been a heck of a long time since I've had a breakup. I've been married for a decade now.
That's
So
crazy.
I was genuinely super concerned. Like, I would lay in bed awake thinking about you, wondering if you were okay.
Well, thank you for that. I mean, I gotta say, like, you are one of my best friends, and I'm so glad to be reunited in Pittsburgh. And I think the hardest thing that I have to say is, like, I didn't want to leave my life. Like, as much as I was super excited to get back to my family in Pittsburgh and to get to, like, this place of, like, your best friends are moving back to the city, and the city has really changed a lot. I didn't want to uproot my life in LA until this stuff unfolded with the
That's
breakup.
right. Not only did you leave your now ex, you left your job and you left your entire life behind.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I shout out goes to anybody who like had to uproot their life and just like start over. I feel very fortunate and will be reminded from my ex how much support and love that I have compared to them who was left on their own in LA on Christmas.
Do you think that a calm conversation could solve things between the two of you?
Absolutely not. That person is a different person or they've gone through so many different trials and tribulations. They want to apologize for the poor behavior that happened.
That's so respectable though. If someone's able to look within themselves and apologize,
Yeah.
that earns them so much respect.
Yeah, and I do really respect them now. I think going through it, like, just to give you the backstory, it started in Hawaii on a family vacation, and it was, my brother was celebrating his 30th birthday. I was really excited. I, had kind of planned to just have this amazing time like with the family and his in-laws, my brother's in-laws. We shared this, and who doesn't want to go to like a beautiful place like Maui, and it was really a spectacular time. However, when we arrived, it got really quickly complicated.
Things turned volatile quick.
Yes.
Now, are you comfortable touching on some of those moments?
Yeah, I just don't want to get like, it feels like hard to talk about it because I try to black out bad things.
I understand. Now, I think there was two jaw-dropping moments from my standpoint when you told me what happened. The one was the situation with the elderly woman.
Yeah.
And the second was just the terrible behavior, how they isolated themselves and handled it.
Yeah, like it was really weird how this person that doesn't necessarily have a drinking problem, however, was just kind of going on this trip as if it was kind of this party, like, let's get tipsy. Let's continue this like drinking like around the clock. And it was just like, it was kind of a recipe for disaster when you are on a family trip. This might have been acceptable on like a friend's bachelor party in Vegas.
Go to Cabo.
Right.
Go to Cabo.
Go to Vegas.
Or like, Vegas. Yeah.
It's just
let's
like
not
too
do that on a
much.
family vacation.
Right. And don't get me wrong, like this is the problem that I feel like I was easily manipulated. The ex always justifies the behavior. Well, I've had a hard time. I've lost, this, and I'm going through it. And like, I'm like, just get over, like, put on the act while my parents and my brother are around, and like, just get it together.
Yeah, and there is something to be said about the self-development that you and I have went through in the past 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we let many things get us down anymore. I mean, if you're comfortable saying, like, you are unemployed right now, you're going through a hard time because you had to leave your life behind.
Yeah.
That's a hard time.
Oh, yeah. I think it was really difficult to be like, okay, after the family vacation, I'm making a necessary step to end this relationship of 4.5 years. And that was so difficult. And then 2 days later, I get the notice that, it's like, we'd like to end this collaboration with you. And it's like, oh, really? Okay.
Well, to be fair, this person did reach out to your employer.
Oh my God. Yeah. My ex had sent a group message to my colleagues because they claimed they were triggered by a video that I posted from a trip that we all had taken together to Vegas. And
what was this video that you posted?
It was a reel, and it was just kind of showcasing like, the second row Lady Gaga concert in Vegas, and then it was showcasing like the beautiful casino and like the
How is that off-putting?
Well, because this person like had gotten a lot of perks from an active casino goer, if you will. And so the perks were given to them, and then the ex felt that my colleagues that went on this essentially free vacation trip and did not reach out to them. My colleagues should have reached out to my ex when they found out that it all was going south or fell apart, and they just didn't do that. But I'm thinking to myself, why would they reach out to you? I mean, I don't know. I think, truthfully, the ex, I've always said this to them probably from day one. Like, there's a common denominator, and there seems to be a lot of drama coming from one person, and you need to look in the mirror. But
if you're the one always having the problems, you're the problem.
You might be the problem. I mean, I'm in this like tornado, this circle, this cycle. I was always on a carousel with them, and I was always like trying to support and trying to mitigate and trying to diffuse. And it just was like drama on drama. But then they would really do a great job of masking it at like a certain point that you just be getting so fed up with it and you're like about to call it quits or throw in the towel. And then they would do this amazing grand gesture of like, oh, I love you. Like, let me take care of you. Let me treat you so well. Let me be like super generous. And I think the one thing I learned was they were so generous, but not thoughtful.
They went from being your sugar daddy to sweet and low daddy to no daddy.
I mean, it's terrible to say, but it went, I don't even know. I mean, you want to joke about that, like,
yeah, I
sugar
do.
to like Splenda.
Yep.
You're terrible.
To agave. Your world is melting.
Oh, God. I thought agave was a good thing. What? Not agave. Oh, my God. This is terrible. I feel bad. But, honestly, I always kind of knew, like, in the back of my head, I had to get it together. I think in some ways, like, my problem is I've always had people that surround me take care of me. I've always provided, like...
You have a really good family.
I have a good family.
And you have great friends.
Exactly. I mean, I even got to give you credit, too. There's been a lot of times that I've been dependent on our relationship, and you've even helped me out with, like, certain, like, business deals, like, as an investor. And, like, I think that is where my weakness is in this big issue breaking up. I was dependent on others. I was dependent on what you want to say, sugar daddy. That was not the case. They might have been 15 years older, but they were definitely...
It was the case.
Stop. You're terrible. Well, I didn't intend it. I was like in this world of like, I'm living in LA. I'm taking this like job from like New York. It's not a great paying job in LA, but like had a transfer, was excited to really like, work with the new agency. Things started coming in. I was working at the bar. It was, I was doing things on my own. However, when I met this ex who was a best friend essentially, and I still to this day want to call him a friend because
I do too.
We've gone past like all the crazy, nasty messages the last month. And
so does that mean that you won't read them?
Do you want me to?
I do.
Out of privacy for them, I feel bad, but I'll read it.
I think you should. I think we need to read the one to your colleagues.
Okay, yeah, that was pretty fucking dark. Woo, damn. This was from my ex to my two colleagues from my previous job. Hey ladies, just wanted to say thanks for reaching out to me when I'm at my lowest. I wondered if you would, as I thought we were actually friends, but I know now that you are both selfish assholes who happily used me in Vegas, just like so many others who suddenly aren't there for me now at my rock bottom. But good luck at your company. You made Ryan's life miserable for the last months. He would come home every night and feel bullied by your snide remarks and was so low as he too thought you were friends and realized you're not. You're not his friend nor mine, and I cared about you both. Colleague 1, you're the lowest of the low, and your paranoia and overall insecurities led you down a path of despicable behavior, and I stuck up for you. I thought we were a real bond, but you're full of dog shit. Whatever. I hope you both get karma you deserve. Being dog shit and all. Next time people are nice and inclusive, don't treat them like garbage. You're both trash, quite frankly. I say that as a housewife joke, even though I feel you were actually trash for what you did to him, and subsequently to me in our relationship. I'll be in touch with your supervisor very soon, as he has all the facts. Glad I have all the company's contacts in my phone to let them know what phonies you both are.
You know what? That is the lowest of the low to go after your colleagues. And the other thing I'd like to say is he thinks dog shit is an insult. I have 3 dogs, and let me tell you, their shit don't stink.
You're so funny. I mean, it's just like, what are you talking about? Dog shit?
Are we in preschool?
And then, I don't even know what happened after that, because that's whenever me and you were together working, and we were just like, okay, it's time to block. I mean, this is just toxic. I mean, it was toxic since like the end of the trip. And, you might want to be on a family vacation and scream at an old lady, and you might want to like send a nasty group text message to my family's group chat, and you might want to try to, like, my brother might have started the fight, but like he said a comment of your behavior saying you were trash, and then you want to go crazy and start like it just felt so dark and so quickly dark. And then not to take the full accountability. It's almost like, I'm sorry for my poor behavior, but I was triggered by this, this, and this. It was like, you never want to take full accountability because you want to use excuses to why you behave that way.
Now, can you very quickly touch on what happened with the old lady?
So, we are not only over my ex at the time on the trip getting too intoxicated and then getting a smoking violation on a balcony after I've told them numerous times, we're in Maui. This is a nicer resort that does not allow smoking on the balcony. It says on the door, no smoking, will be fined. And make a long story short, the old lady, when we went to the elderly lady, that sounds rude, old, right? The elderly lady, she might have been 75, was walking up the stairs to the restaurant. Now, my brother's father-in-law, his wife's father, was on one side of the old lady, and my ex was on the other side. They helped the old lady almost as if she was going to fall, and she made a snide comment. Well, if you guys weren't in the way, I wouldn't have had any issues falling. So instead of thanking these two gentlemen, my ex and my brother's father-in-law, this lady reacted like, well, you shouldn't have been in the way. I wouldn't have had an issue, but you guys were in the way. So then my ex screams at this old lady and says, "Ooh, you old fool! Who do you think you are?" But like, it was just like kind of really loud, obnoxious, unnecessary. I mean, have you ever heard of the term respect your elders?
Yes.
What? Like, and then to add to this craziness, it's in front of the whole hostess stand, the whole family. We're trying to go into a decently nice restaurant, and the host comes over to me like, "I'm sorry. They are not welcome in here. There's no way that they..." And of course, I knew that they weren't going to be welcome. When you create this huge scene yelling at an elderly lady, I mean, I'm sorry. She's allowed to, like, when you get that age, like, you can kind of say whatever you want. And that's where the ex would not take the ownership or acknowledgement. They were like, I don't care. They need to know how to behave, or I don't care how old they. It was just like,
and this was a pattern that you saw
yes,
over and over again. So
right.
You had to draw the line.
Exactly.
So I've got some bad news for thong lovers. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Okay. So poop particles, they get on the thong. And they can travel all the way up your back to your hairline.
So that means that if you're going to put a thong on, just make sure that you clean yourself up.
Yeah, maybe use a bidet, take a shower beforehand. I mean, that'll minimize the chances. And make sure you wash your back. Get one of those back washers so you can actually wash your back. Because I feel like a lot of people, they can't reach, so they just don't wash it.
No, they definitely don't. I mean, I know myself, sometimes I'll forget to wash my feet, and that's another one.
Maybe don't tell people that.
Well, I mean, you go in the shower.
You're going to get some toe suckers real interested right now.
I mean, I don't know. Did I ever tell you when I was in New York going to the Hamptons, there was this med student on the train, cute med student, interesting. They got my contact because, you exchange Instagrams. You don't want to give them numbers yet, or you don't want to, vice versa. And then they send me a DM and it's like, I'll Venmo you $100 if you send me a foot photo.
Hell yeah.
I'm like,
give me his number.
I was like, I don't think this is going to be a good relationship.
Sounds like a great fit.
You think so? I mean, would you have sent them money?
Oh, I would have sent the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We ended up doing it because it was just like, okay, well, you send me the money first and then I'll send you. And they were dumb enough to send the money.
Oh, did you not send the pic?
Oh, we did. We definitely. I just thought like dumb enough. Like, what if I did just decide like, oh, block, goodbye.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I like that.
Do you have any interesting, weird, like things that, like, I mean, since you lived in Beaufort, South Carolina, San Diego, like Mississippi?
You know,
do you have any weird ones?
I probably do, but as a married lady, I think that it shielded me from the crazies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, you just put the ring up and say,
You're such a good wife.
Don't fuck with me. Husband's in the military.
He's a crazy one too.
He's a little crazy.
Like in a good way, like he protective. No, Kelly, I want to know a little bit more about your crazy breakups. Since I just like unloaded mine, you have to have something like nutty.
Oh, I mean, my life is not nearly as interesting as yours. I mean, my last breakup happened in 2000 whatever. I mean, probably 14 years ago. I mean,
my God, you are boring.
Yeah, I mean, that was a hard one though. That was a really tough breakup.
Yeah, and I think I'm pretty sure that one became a cop.
Well, the story is funny.
Yes, yes.
I mean, I never would have known, but your dad told me.
Right. Yeah. He basically.
So there was a break-in, or there was an alarm that was going off on one of your dad's rental units.
Yes.
And apparently my ex showed up on the scene and said, "Hey, Mr. Frankowski, is everything okay?" So me and Steve are super close.
Yeah.
He called me right away and told me about it, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, he's
cool.
still thinking of you.
Oh, Steve?
Oh, yeah, Steve. We'll go with Steve. He loves you. My family adores you and your husband, and I think that, the real nice thing now is, like, it's kind of amazing to be able to work with, like, your best friend, somebody that you trust, somebody that you can laugh with about anything. I mean, we've definitely been able to kind of go through so many trials and tribulations, and we do have that in common. It's like optimism, laughter, and as our last guest, Dan, said, you just have to push through, and somebody has it harder than you. Somebody is getting, an organ replaced, or somebody is dealing with, like, grieving a loss, and you just really have to kind of power through because life does not give us always.
We have that perspective.
Yeah.
We really do. And I think that's why... Sorry, I'm burping from this champagne.
I know. Those bubbles will get you.
Yeah. Wait, what were we talking about?
Did you get a little bothered?
I don't know. I think I am a little bothered right now.
Oh my God, you're getting messy already.
You're making me talk about things.
Oh my God, that you're not uncomfortable. Oh, well, I get it. Like, you do have probably less of an open book as me. Like, as much as I didn't want to divulge the ex's name, I do feel like it is important to talk about these difficult decisions and just these stories that we all have, because you don't know if somebody else is struggling through a breakup. Somebody's trying to drink less. Somebody's trying to be more focused with a business, or I don't know. I mean, I even think something that was really hard in my life was losing my grandmother, and I didn't even think of that being a difficult experience until you're actually in it.
Yeah.
Losing
grandparents is almost as hard as losing parents.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you might actually be closer with them because
I told my grandma everything.
Yeah, exactly. She had no judgment.
Everything I wouldn't tell my parents, I would tell her. She was my best friend.
And this was Grandma Trudy, right?
Yeah, she's still with us, just not
as
mentally anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
She doesn't know me anymore. She doesn't recognize me anymore.
Yeah.
I think she remembers, like, the little girl version of me.
Yeah.
last time I went to visit her, she thought I was my dad's girlfriend and that my daughter was our baby. And it's funny now, but let me tell you, I cried the whole way home.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
To think about the times that you spent with your grandma and being so like, I mean, she was such an interesting person. She sold real estate. She provided herself a great life, and she always was cracking the jokes with us. She was not shy about being inappropriate.
That's where I get it from.
You do.
That's where I get my inappropriateness from and my shopping addiction.
Oh my God. Be careful. Don't be
It's not a true addiction, but some might say it is.
I think it is. I mean, I've seen so many baby clothes coming through your place. I'm like, what?
That's the problem now is the baby clothes. I just have to like get them all the baby clothes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess to summarize a little bit about this new chapter in Pittsburgh, we're excited to really dive deep into the culture, and we have a new appreciation for this city as adults.
Yeah, so this is an unexpected venture for both of us.
Yeah.
I mean, you had dabbled before.
Yeah.
And when you came back
in the podcast world,
we just decided to do it, and we're doing it now.
Yeah, and I think too it kind of was interesting to look at the photo that is the cover for the podcast. That was us that was just not thinking that this would kind of transpire into an actual...
So that was what, 12 years ago?
12 years ago. So there's a little bit of vintage behind it. We don't want to be totally...
Love vintage. So it's all coming full circle now.
Yeah.
And now I just have to lose the postpartum weight, and we're going to recreate that photo.
And one last question I want to ask you. When you say postpartum, this is just for somebody like myself who's very ignorant. You're not postpartum depressed. You're postpartum, like, just dealing with being a new mom again, right?
Yes. So I will say I did deal with postpartum depression with my first.
Yes,
it was really bad.
Yeah, because you mentioned that, and then whenever I was talking to my sister-in-law recently, she's like, "Wait, Ryan, I'm confused. Is she going through postpartum depression?"
Not this time, no.
Okay, yeah.
And I can't tell you why it happened the first time and why it's not happening now, but I would have nightly anxiety attacks where I couldn't breathe, and every night I thought I'm gonna have to call an ambulance.
Oh my God!
Like I could not get the air in, and that went on for about 3 months, and I think I should have just taken some medication, and I didn't.
Yeah.
And this time I was prepared to just take the medication, and I'm fine.
Well, cheers to that.
Yeah, cheers.
Thank you for opening up and
thank you
for
opening
up. Well, you know, I was reluctant, but I think you kind of bring out the best in your friends and family, and I feel more like positive on now being at the other side of a breakup. So thank you for being an amazing friend and kind of continuing this journey with me.
Cheers to that, sugar.
Cheers, baby. Love you.
Love you.
All right, guys, this is Ryan Frankowski and
Kelly Mizgorski.
And thank you for listening to Mocktails or Messy. What are you going to be? A mocktail like myself or a little messy with Kelly?